Basketball League has undergone significant changes this year with fewer teams and none from either Sydney or Brisbane. The Cairns Taipans and Townsville Crocodiles both made the cut, but financial troubles still threaten the future of the Snakes. Luke McGarry looks at the year that was for both North Queensland sides as the title race heats up.
The North Queensland teams fared differently at the business end of the 08-09 NBL season. Cairns were on the brink of extinction, while the Townsville Crocodiles were headed for the playoffs. The two sides met at the Swamp in late January for what many thought would be the last time, and it was one of the most fiery clashes. Ian Crosswhite and Rozelle Ellis were sent marching, so too Dwayne Vale, who was also punched in the head by a spectator. The Crocs prevailed, leaving Snakes captain Martin Catalini in tears.
I feel gutted, mate. I really do. I said in the change rooms before, there's a lot of people.
The Crocs began their finals campaign and shocked many in week one when they knocked off Perth in the jungle. Corey Homicide Williams doing his best to upset the Wildcats crowd. Townsville then met the top of the table Dragons and gave up a solid early lead in Melbourne to go down 1-0 in the series. The Crocodiles won a nail-biting Game 2 at the Swamp, but their season was ended by the eventual premiers in the decider to the tune of 23 points. The next few months was some of the biggest in NBL history, with the competition on the verge of collapsing after the Dragons and Tigers withdrew. Basketball Australia intervened and Melbourne re-entered. Both Townsville and Cairns made applications. The Taipans resurrected thanks to a community support program. On the 12th of May, an 8-team revamped NBL was announced, including both North Queensland teams. Clubs began filling rosters as the Taipans underwent several changes. Catalini headed back to Perth. Aaron Fern took over as coach, while two new imports were signed, Americans Julian Skip Mills and Rich Melzer. The Crocs re-signed Homicide and brought in Roland Roberts to replace Rozelle Ellis, but in the biggest shock told NBL veteran John Riley he was no longer required.
When it became public, someone said I think 7 CEOs just fell off their chairs.
The new league finally tipped off on the 24th of September, but it was one to forget for the Snakes, going down by 20 points to a red-hot Breakers, while Townsville pipped the Gold Coast by 3 in Sin City. Cairns rocketed to the top of the table, winning 3 games straight, while the Crocs were hit and miss. Their most impressive moment, a 35-point smashing of the Tigers in Melbourne. The Taipan season became a nightmare when they lost 5 games on the trot before swooping on the high-flying Hawks at the Snake Pit. The arch rivals met for the first time in the new league, but it was Townsville's night as the Taipans received a post-match spray from their coach for their uninspired performance.
I don't know what to say, you know, it's like, go kick their ass, go take it at them, you know, and we shied away, we got intimidated, and that's bullshit.
The replay was similar, taking the Crocs' recent record in the Derby to 5 straight. Townsville's return to the jungle saw Perth have the last laugh, but the Crocs are still expected to be in finals contention, while Cairns are left searching for a miracle. Luke McGarry, 7 News.